Hello, off-camera grinding tubers, and welcome back to the third stream / recording session of Final Fantasy II Pixel Remaster. Once again, it's been a few days between streams, and I've done some off-camera magic grinding. I'm going to go over it a little bit here at the beginning today, and then I'm going to talk about spells and what they do and what they don't do and what they're supposed to do. But suffice to say, I'm higher level than we should be in terms of stats, so things are easy anyway. But it's magic, man, magic. So first off, our crew, I haven't really changed our weapon levels much. We're about level 10 in our each of my 3 characters kind of have their own weapon specialties, and I got them to about level 10 of it. I could get them higher than that pretty quickly, honestly, like faster than grinding magic levels. I could get up to like level 11, 12, 13, probably would only take a few minutes, honestly, but I didn't because it's already pretty strong. And I've kind of got weapons to the point where with their current weapons, whatever, ice brand, ice bow, punching, or like ogre killer axes, stuff like that, generally we have enough weapon ranks to kill most of the enemies at this current level in one hit. So like my weapon ranks I think are pretty balanced. Like they might be a little bit higher than if you weren't trying to, but I think anyone playing along would have around level 9 or 10 weapons at this point without a whole lot of problems. You probably do not have the 7 times evasion, 9 times magic defense multipliers, the maxed out agility and strength and spirit, because that all happened while I was grinding my magic. So you might only have like 2,000 or 3,000 hit points, 50 strength, and whatever other stats. But point is, the weapon ranks are, I think, pretty natural, and the rest of the stats don't even really matter, as we'll see. So yeah, most people have maxed out for Furion's spirit and agility. His strength is nearly maxed, but not quite. And like spirit or stamina only goes up when you take damage, which doesn't happen much anymore. And same thing for Maria. She's got intellect and agility maxed, and strength's got a ways to go. And then Guy has just agility, but also strength is pretty good. And if you're trying to get your agility up, I highly recommend only wearing light armor, because it just seems to go up randomly every few battles while you're wearing light armor. If you wear armor, any of the, like anything that says armor, it's gonna go up very, very slowly. But if you're wearing cuirasses or sashes or robes, it'll go up pretty quick. So just wear cuirasses, they're fine. And then once you get fancy stuff like black robes or black garbs or whatever, those are fine too. In fact, one thing is with Maria, her intellect is so high, it's actually over 99, because she can unequip the black robe and she'll still have 99 intelligence. So, but for strength, you know, we've got plus 10 and plus 20 on Furion, so his strength is actually only, you know, 77. So it's not actually maxed yet. So, let's talk. So that's just like regular stats, regular weapons. I don't have any like rare weapons or anything from drops. I just have the stuff that we got from the Mysidian Tower, basically, and it's good stuff. The Ice Brand and Ice Bow and the Ice Lance, if you want to use that, it's pretty good. So, yeah, some decent stuff, but nothing too crazy. But let's talk magic. So, as discussed previously, status affecting spells like Dispel removes enemy sort of ribbon effects. Basically, it counters the barrier spell. If an enemy has any natural effects of barrier or the spell barrier on them, this will sort of cancel it. Same thing as if you equip like a fire armor and it protects you from fire damage, or a ribbon that protects you from all. That's kind of what the barrier spell does, and Dispel cancels that, but it never hits, or hits rarely, so not great. Slow spell is chance to hit to lower enemy number of attacks. It does work, but again, you have to hit the enemy with the spell, and just generally faster, just kill the enemy. Holy spell, small damage, terrible. Ultima, good damage, requires you to grind all the other spell levels high. Like you can see, a lot of, if you added up all these levels, that's what factors into ultimate damage. Also your spirit stat, supposedly. And we'll talk about spirit and intellect affecting damage. I'm actually kind of sure it doesn't work. But anyway, Ultima, in theory, uses your spirit and your total magic levels. You know, Cure is fine, nothing wrong with that. Life, I will tell you straight up, don't bother grinding it. Might as well just keep it at level 1. As far as I know, it never does like the full life life 2 kind of effect, where when you raise someone, they start with full hit points. I mean, maybe at really high levels, but I think I got Guy up to level 6 life. It still heals exactly the same as level 1 life. So that's, I don't know if that's by design or whatever, but it sucks. Now I'm going to pull up my little, I have a little list of spells here. Just want to sort of cover what the spells should do and what they don't do. So I'm just looking at my white magic here. So that's life. Oh, you can technically use life to kill enemies. I bet you the way the level works is it's the hit rate when you're trying to kill an undead enemy with it. So that's probably all that really matters, and that's not that important. So Isuna, just to be totally clear here, at level 1 cures poison darkness, level 2 cures curse, level 3 cures amnesia. I don't even know exactly what that does. Maybe that's like, I actually don't know what amnesia does. Something. Level 4 cures toad, and level 5 cures stone. So all you need is to grind Isuna to level 5, which does take some time. But once you get to level 5, it works on all permanent status effects, which is great. At higher levels, apparently there's a chance that it can revive people. But it's a small chance, and I've never seen it work. But that's just what the guide says. So Isuna, getting up to level 5, I would say worth it. Life, not worth it. Healing magic, worth it. Cure, I don't even need to talk about it. Cure's good. Basuna works on temporary status effects, like the venom, which is the green poison. There's purple poison that's permanent, green poison that's temporary. So Basuna works level 1 on venom, level 2 on sleep, level 3 on silence, level 4 on mini, level 5 on paralyze, which is good, and level 6 on confuse, which is really good. So it takes a really long time to get to the useful stuff, paralyze and confuse, but getting Basuna up to level 5 or 6, yeah, okay, that helps. That's nice in battle. There's not always an item, an item from the store that will cure those things. So if you're worried about being paralyzed or confused, Basuna, okay. So far, you know, white magic up at the top here, I would say decent, right? Now, Blink is your... It doesn't work the same as it does in Final Fantasy 1, if you're familiar with that mechanics. This increases your evasion multiplier. So the number before the time sign. So if you have a low evasion percent, like say you had 10% evasion, like Guy early game very rarely had more than like 5 or 10% evasion. And it's just based on your agility and your shields and stuff. But increasing the multiplier with a low percentage does basically nothing. But at 99%, we're going to dodge like 7 attacks in a row. If you put Blink on it, it will add the spell level in evasion multiplier. So Furion would go from 7 to 13 times evasion multiplier, which is maybe useful. Or if you multi-target it, it's less than that. I'm not sure exactly. It probably just spreads it out. So I expect on multi-target, it will just add 6 divided by 3, so plus 2 to everyone's evasion multiplier. I think it works like that, but, you know, I haven't tested it super thoroughly. Protect spell increases your defense value rather than the multiplier. So for, this is mostly just based on your armor. So you've got a defense of 55, Protect increases it by some math. Supposedly, and I can't prove it, but supposedly it raises your defense value by a percentage of your spirit, and I don't think that works. I think it's supposed to be 25% of your spirit times the level of Protect. And if that's what the guide says it does, but if that was true, it would be at the moment, level 9 divided by 4 is like plus 24, right? 99 spirit divided by 4, round down, would do plus 24 defense. And then times 6, that would be plus 48, 96, 100 and something, whatever, pushing 150 defense. There's no way it does that much. That would like triple our defense value and enemies would do 0 damage all the time. It's not that good. So I have a feeling it's the spirit multiplier that's not working, and it's probably adding like 5 or 10, and maybe it's multiplying that by your protect spell level, but it's definitely not doing the full blast that it theoretically could do. Shell is the same idea basically as protect, except magic defense instead of physical defense. So same idea, it's just affecting the I think it's a hidden stat, actually. Because the magic defense percent there is like your magic evasion, technically. I think there is a magic defense that lowers magic damage. Like, magic defense only seems to apply to, like, status effects. Like, that 9 times 98% thing, that reduces the chance of getting hit by a death spell, or a slow spell, or the curse spell. I don't think it applies to damage, and usually there's, like, a hidden magic defense value. And in Final Fantasy 1, it was just MDef, and it went up, like, 2 points per character level. I don't know how it works in this game, but in theory, Shell raises that value. And by the same formula as Protect, but again, I don't think it works quite that well. Anyway, just try to speed through some of these garbage spells now. So, like, theoretically, these are all useful. Blink, Shell, Protect do increase your protecting, but you have to cast them one at a time on everyone to get the max. Or if you spread it out on the whole group, it sucks. Wall is like a one-time block damage from a spell kind of spell. So it's kind of like Reflect, except it doesn't reflect, and then once it's triggered once, it stops working. And it only has a percentage chance to even stop a spell. So the higher you level Wall up, the higher the chance of it blocking an enemy fire spell. But it's kind of lame. The barrier spell is much better. Now, this is a pain in the neck to explain. Let me just scroll through here. Barrier by the book. Every level of barrier adds another element of status protection. So this is the same as like wearing the ribbon or having armor of fire protection or helmets of half damage from lightning. Kind of classic things, right? The thing is, I haven't been able to test out how, we can do this in battle, we can test this out. But in theory, the way it works is level 1 protects you from matter element, which is warp, teleport, stone, toad, I think is matter. So generally like insta-death stuff that's not the death element barrier. So level 2 is fire, level 3 is mind, which I don't know how much stuff is mind, but probably like, you know, confuse and slow and stuff. Lightning is level 4, death element is level 5, poison element is level 6, body element, whatever that is level 7, and then ice element is level 8, and that's it. So if you can get buried to level 8, in theory, you can cast Wall from Final Fantasy 1 or auto ribbon on people just by having it level 8. And we will test that out in a minute. Dispel, I'm not going to talk about. It just theoretically counters barrier effects on enemies, but it's a to-hit spell. Status spells are pretty bad. Sap lowers MP by a lot. It does work quite effectively, honestly. Slow is chance to hit status effect that reduces enemy attacks. It does -4 attacks at level 4. So it works, but you have to hit with it. Holy does damage. Not great damage, but some damage. Ultima does a lot of damage based on your overall levels. And Teleport is another one of those matter elemental kill spells that sort of works okay, but mostly just use it to teleport out of dungeons. Now, before we go into black magic, I'm just going to demonstrate a couple things here. I want to get into a fight and show off a couple of the white magic tricks. So first off, let's just get rid of the bombs and maybe the Hilgagus. There we go. Just so they don't slow us down while I'm testing stuff. So what I want to show off is the holy damage. So this is a level 8 spell with 99 spirit. $159 damage. It's terrible. It's so bad, I don't even really want to talk about it. In theory, undead might take more damage from it, and I will test that out if I ever find an undead enemy. But that is not worth grinding. We had to cast it like, it looks cool, the animation's nice. The animations do get better as you get to higher levels, right? Like, the truth is, the animation is more worth it for, you know, people that like the graphics than the damage. Grinding that to level 8 took maybe 200 castings of it. Garbage. Don't worry about holy, it's trash. I'll test out the barrier spell for damage protection in a second, but I'll show you Ultima next because, well, everyone wants to see Ultima. Ultima, on the other hand, did manage to scale and mostly keep up with our weapon damage. So I'll do one more fight with some Ultima. It has a really wide damage variance. The minimum and maximum for it is much higher than normal spells. But it might even do enough damage to multi-target. We'll see. And it looks pretty cool. Yeah, it actually is hitting hard enough that it works like a AoE spell. It doesn't matter how many enemies there are. I think it does 1/4 damage on multi-target, basically. Somewhere around 1/4. And then I'll do one more single target so you can see the big deeps one more time. So I would say Ultima is pretty cool, but it does require a lot of grinding to get there. And I don't think it's worth it overall, because in a fraction of the time, you could get your weapon to do 700 damage. It's way easier to get your sword to do that much damage than to get Ultima to do it. And it's still not even one-shotting these big horns reliably. It can, but it doesn't always. Yeah, we're getting some pretty bad rolls. It's possible there's some sort of magical critical happening in the background. I don't know. I can't tell how criticals work in this game. It doesn't really tell you when you get a crit. See, suddenly it does 1800 damage, right? Big scale. Big range of damage. So anyway, Ultima, interesting, but ultimately too much work. Because if all you did was go Ultima 7 and then left everything at level 1, it would suck. So, yeah. Anyway, that's all the white magic I've got. There's a few other white magic spells that I don't have. There's a mini spell, a silence spell, a fog spell, a swap spell, a fear spell. I wouldn't really worry about them. Swap is kind of interesting for grinding because you can change HP and MP with the target. So you could have like one person with Osmos that drains MP from an enemy, and then someone swaps the MP with them so they get to 999 MP, and then the person with Osmos keeps draining enemies, right? Like there's some interesting ideas, but I'm not going to bother. Fog is like silence. They can't cast magic. Silence is also like silence. I don't know what the difference is. Maybe fog also blocks like some of the enemy skills that are not technically magic. I don't know. I guess, so according to the guide, fog is mind elemental amnesia, cannot cast magic. Silence is body elemental silence, cannot cast magic. I'm not sure why there's two things to do the same thing, but whatever. Mini, matter elemental turns them into the mini, which effectively just means enemies die. Although I have a feeling in this game they would just run away. Once we get to Toad, I'll see. In past versions of FF2, Toad just killed enemies. It does not kill them anymore. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. I think that's all the white magic. Okay. Hopefully you enjoyed the white magic recap. Because now we're into the interesting time. So black magic. Now again, I don't have every single black spell, but I have the ones that count. So, we'll start with just the damage spells. So there's 4 damage elements: fire, thunder, poison, and ice. They all do the same damage, basically. And the trick has always been to use them against enemies that are weak to the element, and they did like 4 times damage against someone weak to their effect. So if you could find something weak to poison or thunder, it suddenly became a decent spell. But against normal enemies, it did the same damage as Holy. So where Holy was doing like 150 damage, these were all going to do the same, effectively. And Flare was always non-elemental, so it didn't get any ×4 multiplier, but the base damage was a little bit higher. So if these guys were doing like 200 damage, I would expect Flare to be hitting about for 300, give or take. Just a little bit higher. So I would say they're all okay, but they take a lot of grinding and very situational. Only on enemies that are weak to it does it really matter. Berserk is basically the same as Protect, except for your attack power. It is supposed to raise your physical damage by intelligence divided by 4 times the level of the spell. I don't think it does that either. I don't think it actually has that intelligence multiplier, but I will say at level 6 it adds a fair amount of attack power to the attacker. The haste spell adds hit multiplier, so haste 6 adds 6 strikes, just like 6 extra weapon ranks to your weapon. Definitely works, and I could see grinding it higher. Level 8, 9, 10 would be useful. Alright, now, Aura is tricky. Let me scroll to Aura. This spell if you play the Dawn of Souls, especially the GBA version, Aura made a huge difference when you buffed your allies with it against enemies. In this game, I have yet to see it actually do anything. So the aura status is supposed to mean your physical attack becomes extra effective against different groups of enemies. And every level of aura adds another group, kind of like how the barrier added different elements as you level it up. So just in case you're wondering, it's supposed to work. Level 1 works against flying. Level 2 works against aquatic. Level 3 is earth, which includes humans. Level 4 is giants and ogres. Level 5 is spellcasters. Level 6 is dragons. Level 7 is werebeasts. And level 8 is undead. But so far, I have never seen this spell do anything. So I've leveled it up to 8 just so it should work on everything. But I have yet to see it actually apply bonus damage. We can test it out a little bit. I'm gonna try to test aura and barrier out at the beginning of this stream here in just a minute. Other spells are status effects, and some of them are more or less useful. I do not have sleep, stun, blind. I know I'm missing a few of the status spells, but you know, it's not that important. Curse is kind of interesting. It does give you a chance to have your enemies attack and defense. So if it hits, and I don't know, let me just double check what element it is here. Curse. Where are you? Curse. Oh, I don't have Drain either. Drain might have been an interesting spell. Drain lets you steal the target's HP and heal the caster. It seems kind of nice, but I don't know how well it scales, honestly. I forgot to test it out. I don't know if I actually... I must have a Drain tome. I just never bothered to try it. There's the Curse. So Curse is Mind Element, and specifically half... Well, it doesn't say half. It says it reduces the target's attack and defense drastically. Whether that's half or not, it might scale on the level of the curse. I don't know. We'll see. Stop is there's no time element in this game like there was in Final Fantasy 1. So it's matter elemental, which I don't know what resists matter. Probably not that much. And it's just paralyzed, but different. Like the stun spell is body elemental. The stop spell is matter elemental. They both stun paralyze the target, but maybe certain enemies are weaker to matter than body, right? I'll show off Toad in battle. It's also matter element. In the past, it just killed targets. If it afflicted the party, you had like less accuracy. But if you hit the enemy with it, they just died. It doesn't do that anymore. Death just kills the enemy, so that's at least very straightforward. Break turns enemies to stone. This is another matter element, so similar to Toad, except stone effect, which just kills enemies, and it does just kill enemies. And then there's like a mini effect, which I expect is very much the same as Toad, I just don't have it. Osmo steals MP, not as much MP as Sap damages MP. Like, the Sap spell kills tons of MP, the Osmos just steals a small amount. And then Warp lets you warp to the last level, does not take any damage, so it's nice to back up a level in the dungeon if you want to save some time, and it has a chance to matter elemental kill enemies. So we have death element kill enemies, matter element kill enemies, matter element kill enemies. What's the difference? I have no idea. And that's all of the black magic effects. I have a few things to test out, but that's your recap, I think. Hopefully that covers how magic is supposed to work. Now, as far as actual dealing damage, I'm gonna go cast some black magic spells, and you're gonna see them do much better damage than what I've been telling you about. But keep an eye on her intellect. And I will explain it. I'll explain what I'm trying to talk about in just a minute, as soon as we get to try them out. Alright, these guys. I'm gonna kill the sorcerers because they waste my time. I'm just gonna cast Blizzard. Blizzard level 8. Oh, 134 damage. Wait, that's not what it did last time. What's going on? How am I supposed to test this? How am I supposed to show off the amazing damage when suddenly it stops doing it? I wonder if I had a bug. Maybe there was a patch. They did patch the game between the last time I booted it up. Yeah, I think they already patched out what was happening. So, The reason I'm surprised here is the last time I cast my spells, my level 8 damage spells, they were doing about 900 damage. And the time that it changed between 100 damage and 900 damage was not when they leveled up to level 8. It was when she got an intelligence up and she got to 99 intellect. And at that point, she started doing really good damage with magic. So, and it seems like perhaps they fixed it, is what it looks like. Let's see if Flare does any damage. Nope. Actually, do you guys at the beginning, some of you were here at the very beginning of the stream. I cast Flare with Maria and it did more than 250. Do you guys remember? I showed it off just for a little bit right at the very beginning. Someone was probably here from the beginning of the stream. It did the same damage as Ultima before. So it's not even the patch, it's something to do with the equipment. There must be like a... Oh, it's got to be related to that black robe, I think. Because I noticed the damage go up after she got a level up that went from 98 to 99 intellect. And she was wearing the black robe all the way there. And then after that, I may have unequipped it at the beginning of this recording to show you that technically she's at 99. Anyway, so what I'm trying to get at is the elemental damage spells are terrible. And I'm pretty sure they do not scale based on your intelligence, which is what they should be doing. And I think there was one time where I like somehow bugged the game into using the intelligence formula at intellect 99 basically, and suddenly they were doing good damage, like I'd say 800, 900 damage to non-weak enemies, and that was pretty cool. But now they're back down to complete garbage, and that's too bad. Now, if you know an enemy is weak to an element, you can still get some value out of it. I don't think these bighorns are weak to anything. Maybe what I should do is go to my boat, because I know the water enemies are generally weak to lightning, and I can show you kind of like what they should be doing to not suck, basically. But yeah, that's kind of... I was trying to show this off, but apparently I've... I wonder if I just loaded... hold on, I'm going to try one more trick here. I'm going to load a save from maybe before I change my equipment. Because I'm pretty sure at the beginning of the stream, someone can check the VOD later, I'm pretty sure I was still doing the good magic damage, actually. Which will further... If this does work, it should give more proof. I just can't remember if I saved after I changed the gear or not. She still has the black robe equipped one way or the other, but... Let's see here. Alright, come on, Maria. Let's see some good damage. Nope. Flare did 1167 to a sergeant? Alright. Well, somehow I have nerfed her, because this is not... She still has 99 intelligence, the same flare level. And it's doing, you know, 1/5 or 1/6 damage now. So there must have been some kind of intelligence overflow by having the black robe equipped and leveling up. Maybe it treated it like you had 109 intelligence rather than 99. But in the end, what I mean is, I'm pretty confident that the intelligence stat, the actual stat, is not scaling on magic damage. And I think it's the same with spirit. I'm pretty sure spirit and intelligence don't actually make your spells stronger, which is probably a large part of why they seem to suck so bad. Maybe the devs will figure it out. Maybe it's designed this way. I don't know. But if your spells, like, you know, Fire 8, Thunder 8, etc., if they could do 800, 900 damage right now, and we could find something weak to it to get the bonus damage, that would be pretty awesome. And I would say that's good enough. But right now, 100 damage, 150 damage, I mean, come on, right? I'm actually I'm gonna try one more load. I should have an autosave from a bit further back. I'm gonna try to load that. It's a little dangerous going even further back, but we'll try it once. Because I've got the hard save here, we can just reload if we need to. I just want to show it off while I'm recording if I can. Also, some people don't know about this, but the game does autosave. when you load your game, press up. Alright, I don't think this is too much further back, but I don't know when it autosaves, so... Last time I left town, I guess. Okay, this is further back, because I have my volume settings. This is before I started streaming, so this should work, actually, then. So this is like, an autosave just from before I started streaming. And I haven't touched her equipment. So let's see. I also haven't reorganized my magic. Maybe it was reorganizing the spells that did it, I don't know. There you go. Look at that. Suddenly we're good. Awesome. So I was able to go back. So on this save, the only thing that's different is she has 99 intelligence, and I don't think I've ever... No? So what is doing this? She doesn't even have the black robe equipped. So what? Let's figure this out, guys. Let's science this up. What changed to nerf our spells from really cool to garbage? Maybe it was reorganizing them? Because, like, this is pretty good, right? 1000 damage flare, I'll take that. I mean, it's not as good as your weapons still, but... I just want to double check against enemies weak to things. So these guys should be weak to lightning. I'm pretty sure. I want to see if I can do more than 800. Yeah. Yeah, this is what I was hoping to show off. Like, yeah, look at this. If you take an elemental weakness and you've got the right spell, suddenly they're really cool. This is what I want magic to do, right? This is what I want to see. Weakness, high level spell, tons of damage, right? That'd be awesome. This is closer to like a different Final Fantasy, like Final Fantasy IV. If you use Thundaga against something weak to lightning, it does a ton of damage. Like, generally 9999. And, okay, level 8 Thunder is not Thundaga yet, but in theory, it should be getting Thundera level power at least? So, I'll try... She doesn't even have anything that would bonus boost her spell. I'll strip her naked. See if that changes it. I have a feeling it's actually the, I have a strong suspicion that it was moving the spells around that did it. But let's see if armor had any effect. Yeah, that did it. Right? I think. Well, no, that might have just been the normal multi-target reduction. Okay, it's still doing amazing damage. These things, multi-target just sucks. So, as always, multi-target letting us down. So I am still going to just reload my other save. Like, I'm not going to hold on to this, because apparently this is glitched. I'm pretty sure, even though it's nice. I will reload my file that doesn't have it, but, let's re-equip the plus 10 intelligence. So she already had 99 intellect, and then I re-equipped the plus 10. Because it was 99, then I unequipped it to equip the Diamond Cuirass, and now I've re-equipped it to test out if that's the problem. The Boltfish might not be weak to thunder, so we'll just stick with the Sea Dragon that we know is. Nope, still works. So changing equipment does not seem to affect the spell power. See, man, I was so excited when I got to 99 intelligence and suddenly magic was good. And I'm like, well, maybe it was a rounding error, right? From intellect 1 to 98, it didn't apply the buff. But then at 99 intellect suddenly, oh, here you go. Now you get the full effect of all the bonus damage you're supposed to be getting, just only at the very end, right? But I still haven't figured out why it lost that. Okay, let's test out the moving spells around, because this seemed, I did do this as well. This is one of the few things I did at the beginning of the session. That, I mean, if this changes the damage of the spell, man, what a weird game if it's programmed that way. Well, I didn't move the thunder spell technically, but let's see. No, it still works. So how did we break it? I'm honestly very confused then. I learned a new spell. I added break at some point. Because this was a fair ways back. Maybe it's adding like the Ultima stack of all your spell levels. Somehow. That would be so weird if it somehow did that. And then adding a new spell resets the formulas. Nope, still works. Okay. Well, where did it go? Why did we lose this then? Gonna specifically move the thunder spell around because that's what I've been practicing. Does this convince anyone that maybe there's a some sort of bug? Now I wouldn't be surprised if these guys are not weak to lightning, so if it looks different here, don't be too surprised. Some gear gives a damage penalty to magic? Like a 20% damage penalty? What did she have? I'll have to reload my save then, maybe. So, Thunder 8. Yeah, Furion's not supposed to be doing damage right now. I had him training up his spear. Alright, so the damage is still good. Okay, well, I will... Let's just reload and see, well, no, let's not reload. I want to keep the variables as similar as possible. What did I have her equipped last time? Ripper... Orichalcum. At the very beginning of the stream, she had, probably Giant's Glove, Ribbon, Diamond Cuirass? I'm pretty sure she had the Black Robe equipped, honestly. I switched her to the Ice Bow. Let me check it like this, and then I'll switch to the Ice Bow. I don't really wear heavy armor, like, ever. These guys suck. Well, we can tech with Flare. At this point, we don't even need them to be weak. We can tell the difference because it's such a huge swing. If this does 200 damage, we lose the damage. If it's doing 1,000, it's fine. Naked Mage does more. Well, right now she's got all her equipment on and it's fine, so... I don't know what... I mean, I'll try the bow. I think I put her in the back row with the bow. Hey there, Rides. We're doing some science. Good old-fashioned magic science. Maybe magic is good if you just somehow learn the secrets of... some kind of secret that I don't know. Yeah, the penalty being bugged, I think, is more likely. Yeah, okay, now we're back down to garbage. So the bow has cut her damage in, like, down to 20%. So the sea dragons are actually weak to lightning. So the regular damage, I think, yeah, okay. I guess maybe this, I don't know why the ice bow would do it. But we've gone down like 20% of the damage we used to be able to do with magic. It's gonna be like 250. Yeah. Wow. Okay, well, I'm still confused why the bow did it, but not the knife. Like dual wielding daggers was fine, but a bow is no-no. The overall penalty. So there's some sort of mystery. So can she equip like a wizard staff, seeing as that's totally mage gear, right? This is really weird, because like there's some secret behind the scenes math going on. Alright, so the wizard staff didn't break it. This feels like it's still a bug though, for sure. I mean, the ribbon is generally a pretty light. Diamond Cuirass is what I would normally have on for light armor. Hold on. Where are my good swords? It's gonna take longer to switch weapons than to kill these things. Whatever, you can have ice sword and ice lance. Where is it? There, that's fun. I still think your intelligence does not scale upwards. Maybe what it's doing is it's canceling your intelligence bonus. Because I'll tell you, my damage was terrible until I got intellect 99. And I did not change my equipment. Like, I was using magic to grind, just like this, where I had her equipped with whatever I had her equipped with. And I was just casting spells over and over and over again. I wasn't changing anything on her equipment. I got her to 99 intelligence, and suddenly she started doing amazing damage. And that worked until I changed her back to the bow. So there's definitely something funky going on, and it's got to be related to intelligence scaling, and some sort of weird armor penalty that certainly is not documented in the game anywhere. Okay, but I mean, that's good to know. Oh, so let's try, let's reload the game with, now that we sort of know how that works, let's see if we can fix our actual save. Here we are sciencing it up. Maybe we can make magic good after all. Just a pure black mage, maybe it is possible, but you'd have to have... You really have to stick with whatever effectively is magic gear, whatever that is. I don't even have any gloves that make sense for mages. Well, like, I'd like to have the bow in the back row, but maybe with no giant gloves. Once the total magic penalty equals or exceeds your intention, you lose it all. Yeah, that sounds kind of like what I was just saying. I mean, I would like to see some proof of all of this, because right now this is all very much speculation. But that is what I would have said as my gut feeling, at least. That there's a hidden penalty now for armor, and it's still based on your intelligence stat. Because that was good flair. Okay, so let's see if we can do that with Ultima then. Because Furion's not getting good damage from his magic either. Here, have a wizard staff and nothing. You've got a white robe. Let's give you I don't know, let's just give you nothing. You're not gonna punch, you're gonna cast some magic. This is just so archaic, like there's no way you'd guess. At low levels, just playing for the first time, I don't think anyone would ever guess any of this stuff. Like, there's just no way. Alright, let's see if Furion suddenly does approximately flare level damage. He's still got 99 spirit, you know, like it should still be similar. Yep. So by unequipping his gear. Alright, well, are you guys ready? Because this might be fun. Ultima didn't change. So Ultima maybe doesn't get affected by your spirit at all. The guide for Dawn of Souls, like the other, if you go FF2 guides, it says Ultima scales on your spirit. But this is the same damage it was doing before. So maybe Ultima is not affected by the armor you wear. I'll just go as heavy as I can. And we'll see if it still gets Ultima damage. Hey, Michael. Or McCall. So we should definitely go... Our holy spell should go back down to terrible. But let's see if the Ultima spell works. Assuming we get a turn. Get rid of these mages. Alright, Ultima. That was the low end range of the damage, so don't give up on it yet. Is that enough of a difference? So it's still doing kind of a spread between like 700 and... I think it would still do more. It's just like random range. Let me chest out Holy, and then we'll... One more fight with heavy armor on Furion, and then we'll switch back to no armor. Oh, the ambushes. You know, we have like 99 agility, guys. You don't have to ambush me every battle. Okay, just sit back, have a drink. Keep track of how much damage Ultima does. While these sorcerers waste our time. Besides, it's grinding up level 8 Ultima, right? That's what we want to see. So I would say it's doing probably 700 to 1400 right now. It does seem to range quite widely, but... So that was my... This is with armor. Like, this is with full heavy armor. And spells like Holy are just useless. 200 damage is nothing. I mean, okay, these sergeants aren't that tough, so Holy will still kill them. Compared to your weapons, you know. Okay, and then, well, we're 10% to Ultima 8. And then we'll switch back to... Does that mean punching and using magic is the best combo? Because punching is always the best weapon, and if this doesn't weigh anything... that'll be the new meta, is just punching and using magic. Alright, we'll start with Holy. Because we're pretty sure this will do 1,000 damage. Even better. Just be naked. Naked maging. It really is the black belt from Final Fantasy 1, except also White Wizard, Black Wizard at the same time. I don't think the ultimate damage is changing based on your equipment. No, I'm pretty confident, and this is why it's so complicated. This is why it confuses me so much. It seems like your non-Ultima spells generally decrease with any armor on or certain armor on, but Ultima seems immune to it, which seems to suggest that your spirit does not apply. It's just a very high base power, but doesn't get any bonus from your stats. Just the number of spells. So heavy armor with a lot of learned spells that do nothing, Ultima wins. But light armor, or mage armor, then you want to go with a normal, you know, normal damage spell. Well, okay, I think I'm about done with that phase of the testing. I want to test out Barrier and Aura a little bit because they're finicky. But maybe they only work... Maybe they weren't working for me in the past because they were not applying because of the, like, I wonder if... There's a lot of things I'm wondering. Okay. So this is... I want to see... I want to test out Berserk first, because this is something I'm familiar with. So, 1,000 damage for a regular punch. It could do a little bit more if we hit 10 out of 10. That was 8 out of 10 hits, right? Berserk, by the math, is your intelligence divided by 4 times the level of the spell, which should add a ridiculous amount of attack power. But it wasn't in the past. It was just adding like 25% bonus damage or something like that. But now that Maria, and I'm just gonna double check, but now that Maria is at, you know, full magic multiplier, in theory, I'm just double checking this as 1,000. Or, you know, lots. So that doubled Guy's attack? Maybe even the buffing spells require your multipliers to work. We've got Berserk, we've got Haste. Last time we tested on Bighorn at the beginning, what did we do? We cursed him. And I think we got to like 3,500 damage. Something like that. I didn't do Aura last time. I'm not going to do Aura yet because Aura is really weird. Okay, well the damage was pretty similar to last time. So, you know, Maria with heavy armor seemed to buff the same amount approximately with Berserk and Haste and Curse. I'm gonna test. There's some things I need like I need to have a good solid approximate damage for Guy. And I think we're gonna say like 1,000 to 1,500 if all his hits hit. And then I'm gonna test out Aura to see if it goes up. And Aura 8, in theory, applies bonus damage to basically any enemy. Lower level Aura is only specific families, but this should apply to everything. But how do you know, and how much difference does it make? Like 1,300 is still within his normal range, right? So I definitely feel like in Dawn of Souls the Aura bonus was way bigger, like triple or more kind of thing. Because we're, you know, no Aura, 1,300 damage. Maybe we should try Fish, because the fish are definitely weak to lightning. Maybe in this game Aura is just working kind of like Excalibur did in the other one or something. I'd like to see Aura work is my main... Like, I want to see this boost our damage, but so far the spell seems to do nothing. Let's go test on some fish quick. Sure, we're just like an hour into the stream. I'm just sciencing it up, but we're almost... I feel like we're almost done the science portion. Maybe one of these enemies counts as something that it will work on. 1,700 is good, but sorcerers have really low defense, so I would expect him to hit them more than the captains, you know. 1,800 is pretty good. Maybe it's just a very small buff. You know, if this was an emulator, you could put a save state and see how much damage he does against everything, and then reload, cast Aura, and see if it went up a little bit. I'm gonna say at this point, if Aura is applying bonus damage, it's applying a very small amount of bonus damage. It's small enough that it's hard to notice if it is, and it could literally be doing nothing. So he does 1,600 damage with no spell, right? Guy is pretty strong. I don't think it's making any difference, honestly. And we know that sea dragons are aquatic and they should be taking bonus damage according to the description of the spell. Yeah, that's not anything. Okay, I'm feeling pretty confident to say Aura doesn't work. Or at least it does not work the way it used to work. Okay. That's one less thing to worry about. I was going to show off Toad. In a previous stream, I think stream number 2, there was a viewer that was a big fan of the Toad spell. It's not as good as it used to be. It does affect enemies at decent levels, and probably now that we have no armor, it's probably going to work way better than it used to. But rather than killing them, if you're watching along, and captains are harder to hit than sergeants, certainly. Come on, Toad. Yeah, it's such a good spell. Maybe he's, no, he's not paid from matter. So anyway, what happens is they run away, which means you get no gold or drops. Now, you still get your sort of experience, because experience is weird, but, you don't actually gain treasure. So I would say of all the status killing spells, the one that does not get you drops is not the one I want to use. I don't know which one of these is better, to be honest. I guess if things are not immune to death, death might be the way to go. I would assume death as the the special killing spell probably has a higher hit rate, but some things are just immune to it, right? Because undead and bosses. It's the same level of Toad. We'll see if it hits quicker than Toad did. RNG, right? Yeah, it was a bit quicker. I also kind of want to show off some of these animations. One of the nicest things about this this version of the game is the music is really good and the animations are really nice. So I don't mind showing some of these effects off. So Warp, Matter Elemental insta-death, but it has a pretty cool animation. Very X-Zone-like. So I don't think they're great, but now that we have like maybe the proper magic scale on Maria, I'm kind of interested in seeing how, like, if they work more reliably. And this is only break level 3. And it does do the kill effect, so. Honestly, that was pretty quick. For a fairly low level spell, that was pretty good. So maybe the gimmick is just to not wear armor if you want to cast magic. That's a lot of enemies. But did we learn that, like, now that our spells are good... It's so sparkly! Not quite enough damage. These guys have like 400 hit points. It's still not good enough. Still doesn't kill them all. Come on, Flare, level 8. What do I need out of you? What other cool spells have I not showed off today? We did Break, Warp, Death, Toad. I've done Curse a couple times. I'm just curious if it hits more quickly. It seems possible that not wearing armor makes the status spells work better too. It's like I'm used to the game having no intelligence scaling for accuracy and damage on spells, and now that it finally turns on, spells are so much more effective. Alright, well. Yeah, 900 damage is not... It's still not, like, don't get me wrong. The amount of damage we're getting now with literally no, well, not literally, but very little equipment is still poorer than a regular weapon attack that takes a lot less time. Like, the trouble, there is still an imbalance in the amount of time it takes to level up weapons and leveling up spells. You could just pick one weapon type or two weapon types, but you have to level up every spell. You know what? I think it should work where, if I was rebalancing it, the first spell that someone knows going from level 7 to 8, maybe that takes 30, 40 casts or something. But then the second spell should take half of that when it goes from level 7 to 8. And then the third spell should be like a quarter of that. And then maybe the rest of them are just 1/4. So that, like, it still has kind of a scaling. Getting spells to level 16 takes a long time. But it's mostly just the first one. And then as you've sort of mastered more, it does not take 20 hours. And also maxing out all your stuff. Because part of it is like, to level up these spells, you're going to have 99 intellect, 999 magic points. You're going to max out your evasion and agility. You're going to max out HP and magic defense and all that. They need to level up quicker, or else your stats just hit the maximum, which is not... I don't feel like that's quite balanced. Okay, one last thing, I think. I keep saying one more thing. I need to test out Barrier a little bit. So, Maria has... She's got the ribbon. So I'm going to test out attack all fire on the party. Furion and Guy should take normal damage, and she should take like half because she's got the ribbon for elemental protection. Yeah, so 190 and 70, and maybe I'll do it one more time just to get a bit more data input. And some of this does depend on that magic defense stat, but let's see. 140, 90, so we're looking at somewhere around half damage with the ribbon, approximately. Now, Guy was definitely taking a little bit more damage than Furion. Let's put Shell on him and see if that changes anything. That's magic defense, supposedly. That did not seem to affect fire damage. I'll cast flare or fire one more time just to see. So my reaction so far, Shell does not reduce magic damage. Another amazing spell. But in theory, Barrier will provide the ribbon effect to Guy. And that should take him down closer to Maria's level. You know, once I cast it. And we know that Barrier misses on Maria because she's already got a ribbon. So 190, now 77, yay! So I will say that the Barrier spell works, but you definitely need to grind it up a lot of levels. Like, it needs to be level 8 to apply to all elements, so it takes a long time. Wall, I'll test that out as well. Here, my Wonder Wall. So, in theory, the way it's supposed to work, the way I understand it, is Wall has a chance, based on the level, to block the entire spell. What that chance is, no idea. Hey, I'd like to kill a couple of these guys, slowing the fight down. I have a feeling the wall spell's pretty bad. I've got that feeling. I guess I could check if all the elements are being resisted by Guy, and not just the fire element. But I would assume, you know. So, it's really confusing how Shell works. Or does it work? Wall and Shell seem to be the spells that I'm not... the protection spells that are perhaps garbage. And Guy has not blocked a single spell. Well, I'm almost done my testing phase, but let's test out status effects and Shell. So I'll try to stop him. Now, I have a feeling our characters have a high enough magic defense multiplier that our low-level status spells are not high enough to hit them. At level 6, with more than 6 times magic multiplier, I don't know if it'll ever hit. So I don't know if I can test out if Shell helps that. Like, Shell might just be magic, like, magic evasion multiplier, in which case our evasion is so high I can't really actually test it. So I think that might be... maybe that's what it does. Because it did... Shell definitely didn't reduce the damage from the spell. I mean, Warp is a higher level, technically. But... Okay. Well, there's nothing else to test, right? We're pretty much done our test phase. So Flare should be non-elemental. Actually, shouldn't be reduced by Ribbon, right? Everyone takes 200. Nice and consistent. Okay. Well, I've learned something. Have I learned everything? No. But, I think the last thing I want to find out is... what can we get away with and still get our magic damage? She's not at 99 strength yet, so... I definitely feel like the double daggers was not reducing it in the past. So let's try that out and see if she still does max magic. And then I kind of want to figure out for Furion as well, because naked is not really the plan. He doesn't need the agility boost. The only stats he needs is some strength if I want to do strength, but let's give him... I assume White Robe should work with White Magic. Maybe we give him the gold hairpin. Maybe that's lighter than a helm, because it's a hairpin. And then... I mean, Maria got away with the gloves, so we'll try. But I'm assuming swords are heavier than, like, whatever the penalty is for magic casting, swords maybe are heavier. But I'll try, like, double staff. We'll find out. I think the game needs to show you a number. If they want to reduce the effects of your spells in the background, they need to give you an idea of, like, how close you are to that value triggering. Right? Like, okay, Flare still working. Holy, still working. So whatever my current gear setup is, we can use that to still cast magic. Alright, let's try... Let's try one sword and a wizard staff. Just this is for science, for all you guys playing along, you know. Sciencing Ankylo. Nope. Cannot equip a sword. Now, if you know... So if you know it's your weapons that cause it, you could... This would be such a pain. But you could switch out mid-battle. Especially if you had them organized a little better. Oh, that would suck. Imagine doing this every time you want to cast a spell. And then by default having weapons equipped. And then you just unequip them when you want to cast magic. Because it does update on the fly. Huh. That would be really annoying. They should just remove that mechanic. That's a dumb mechanic. Just get rid of it. I want to see if he can... I've never had White Mage with full spirit and test out, like, you know, healing. I want to see how big our cure spell is now that we're not nerfing our spells. 2,000, that's not bad. Alright, well, I think that's enough messing around at this point, one way or the other, but interesting. I would really like to use a sword, though. I mean, I feel like... What if we just don't have a white robe and one sword? Is that still too heavy? I feel like this should be okay. Well, just because something was in the original doesn't mean it's good. So it looks like one sword and no helmet. You can technically... So I guess we need like a... We need like a white mage helmet and glove. Tutorials for modern computers. No, never. Alright, well, it's nice. But... It's good to know. I'm glad I know how it works finally, you know, 20 years later. But, you know what's better than messing around with all your armor? It's just having a lot of weapon skill and killing things in one hit. I think magic is so bad in this game, by default, magic is bad, that it needs... It needs some buffs. You need to learn it quicker, or you need the penalty from armor to be lighter, or... The spell, like, intelligent spirit modifier needs to be higher. I don't know. But yeah, the game, the inside of the game doesn't say attack plus 72, accuracy plus 62, evasion plus 2, magic casting minus 50. Like, it needs to show that stat somewhere, basically. Like, it needs to show that, like, intellect minus 20 or something, however they're doing it. And then it needs to not be bugged. It needs to not be all or nothing. And then it needs to work. Alright, anyway, that's... Yeah. I've literally spent over an hour. I'm gonna say for the future tubers, I'm actually gonna cut the video here. We're gonna go to the end. We're gonna say today's episode was magic science, and I learned something. I hope you learned something too. And look at that. It costs more to go to the inn than it does to use a cottage. You can buy cottages for $2 grand. This is a very pricey stay at the inn. Anyway, future tubers, that is that episode. You've learned something. Next episode, we destroy the tornado.